At first glance, it might seem obvious where the money is flowing in 2026. Artificial intelligence, big tech, software, the usual headlines dominate the conversation, and while those sectors are still attracting massive investment, they're no longer the full story. Because behind the scenes, capital is quietly moving into places most people aren't paying attention to. Not the flashy industries, not the obvious ones, but the foundational ones. And this shift is revealing something important about how the business world is changing. In 2026, the industries attracting the most money are not just the ones building the future, they're the ones enabling it. One of the biggest surprises is energy. For years, energy was seen as a stable but unexciting sector, but today it's becoming one of the most critical investment areas in the entire economy. The reason is simple. Everything in the modern economy, especially AI and digital infrastructure, runs on electricity, and demand is rising faster than supply. Data centers, electric vehicles, industrial expansion, and new technologies are all putting pressure on power grids. As a result, investors are pouring money into energy production, transmission, and storage. This includes traditional energy sources, but also renewables, grid infrastructure, and battery technology. Energy is no longer just a utility, it's a strategic asset. Another industry attracting massive investment is industrial infrastructure. Factories, logistics hubs, and advanced manufacturing facilities are seeing a surge of capital. For years, these sectors were overlooked in favor of asset-light businesses. But now, companies and investors are realizing that physical infrastructure provides something digital businesses cannot: control. Owning production, controlling supply chains, and managing logistics networks are becoming key advantages. This is especially important in a world where disruptions are more common. As a result, industrial real estate, manufacturing capacity, and logistics systems are becoming highly valuable. This is part of a broader trend, the return of hard assets. Another surprising area is semiconductor equipment and supply chain infrastructure. While chip companies themselves get a lot of attention, the real money is increasingly flowing into the companies that support them. The tools, machines, and materials required to build advanced chips are incredibly complex and difficult to replicate. This creates high barriers to entry, and it makes these businesses extremely attractive to investors. As demand for chips continues to grow, the entire ecosystem around them is expanding, and that ecosystem is where a lot of the investment is going. Healthcare infrastructure is also seeing a major shift. Not just pharmaceuticals or biotech, but the systems that deliver care. Hospitals, outpatient facilities, diagnostics, and healthcare technology platforms are attracting increasing amounts of capital. This is driven by long-term demographic trends. Aging populations, rising healthcare demand, and the need for more efficient systems are all pushing investment into this space. Investors are not just looking for innovation, they are looking for stable long-term demand. And healthcare infrastructure provides exactly that. Another unexpected area is data center real estate. While cloud computing and AI get most of the attention, the physical buildings that house servers are becoming some of the most valuable assets in the tech ecosystem. Data centers require land, power, cooling systems, and connectivity. They are expensive to build and difficult to scale quickly. As demand for compute power grows, these facilities are becoming critical infrastructure. This is attracting investment from private equity firms, institutional investors, and even companies outside the traditional tech space. In many ways, data centers are becoming the factories of the digital economy. There's also a quiet surge in investment in logistics and supply chain technology. Warehousing, transportation networks, and distribution systems are being upgraded and expanded. This is partly driven by e-commerce, but also by the shift toward more localized supply chains. Companies are investing in systems that allow them to move goods faster, more reliably, and with greater visibility. This includes automation, robotics, and advanced tracking technologies. The goal is not just efficiency, but resilience. Another industry gaining attention is defense and security technology. In a more uncertain global environment, governments are increasing spending on defense, cybersecurity, and critical infrastructure protection. This is creating opportunities for companies operating in these areas. and it's attracting private investment as well. While this sector was once seen as highly specialized, it is now becoming a significant part of the broader investment landscape. Even agriculture is seeing renewed interest. Advanced farming technologies, supply chain improvements, and food production systems are attracting capital. This is driven by concerns about food security, sustainability, and global demand. Investors are looking at agriculture not just as a traditional industry, but as a space for innovation and long-term growth. What connects all of these industries is not hype, it's necessity. These are not optional parts of the economy. They are the systems that everything else depends on, and that's why they are attracting so much money. Another important factor behind this shift is the search for stability. After years of volatility, investors are increasingly drawn to businesses that offer predictable returns. Infrastructure, energy, and essential services tend to provide that. They may not grow as quickly as some tech companies, but they are more resilient, and in uncertain times, resilience becomes extremely valuable. There's also a scale factor. Many of these industries require massive upfront investment. Building a data center, an energy facility, or a manufacturing plant is expensive. But once built, these assets can generate steady returns over long periods. This makes them attractive to large institutional investors managing long-term capital. What's happening in 2026 is a rebalancing. Capital is not leaving technology, but it is expanding beyond it. Investors are looking at the full system, not just the software, but the infrastructure that supports it, and they are allocating money accordingly. This has important implications. It means that some of the biggest opportunities are no longer in the most visible industries. They are in the ones that quietly power everything else. It also means that the definition of innovation is changing. It's not just about new apps or platforms. It's about building stronger, more reliable systems. Energy systems, supply chains, infrastructure. Because in today's world, the companies that control these systems are in a powerful position. They are not just participating in the economy, they are enabling it. And that's why in 2026, the most surprising industries attracting the most money are not the ones making the most noise. They're the ones holding everything together.